something on your that says that, you're okay with me recording it. But yeah, so my name is Kevin Bruni. I'm the athletic director at Campus Christian Middle School. Many of you have been to some maybe of our other meetings where you've already met me in some way. Students, if you're here, it's great to meet you. It's sometimes hard for you to see my face because I have to wear one of these masks all the time. So maybe you can see me and get to know me a little bit too. But we're glad to have everybody here for the golf club. And so I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can see a little bit of some of the things that we're going to be talking about today. So first off, team formation. So everybody's wondering, how do we get started? How do we make this thing work? We have two defined groups that we're going to be using this year because of the amount of people that we have. We can't show up on the same day at the same time. And so I'm gonna try to mute some people here. No offense to anybody. Okay. So we couldn't make that happen. So we had to split it up, and Graham Rayburn at Indian Trails, if you know Graham, or if you happen to drop your son off or daughter off sometime at this, see if he's there and thank him. He and Craig Coinga do so much to help us make this program work. And so we're really grateful for them. But we have two defined groups, as you can see on the screen. Mondays and Wednesdays will be the 6th through 8th grade boys. That's the intermediate and advanced groups. For that large portion, we split those up developmentally so that the kids can get the best instruction at their level as we go about that. The intermediate group will be a little bigger than the advanced group. And the coaches are going to do their best they can. They certainly have fluidity in there if they decide they want to do something different. But we certainly trust them to make those choices for us. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're going to have the 5th grade boys and the 5th through 8th grade girls. That's going to be their night to be at Indian Trails. And so we have it split up that way on purpose. Within the 5th grade group, we, as a coaching staff, decided we would also do an intermediate and advanced group in there. And the advanced group in there, if you're in that group of people for 5th grade boys, would just have slightly different things to do on play days and the way that we group things during skill training so that developmentally appropriate things can happen and we can keep moving kids forward and wherever they're at. The way that it works is each week, one of your days, the kids will play a few golf holes. So one of the days, and I'll show you the schedule in a minute, but one of those days, they'll play a few golf holes. And the other day they'll be doing skill development work at the practice range. So that means we'll have 2 of the greens where we'll have a putting situation, we'll have a chipping situation, and we'll have a range situation. And so the kids will get a chance to work all 3 aspects of their game with some level of instruction and guidance on what they're trying to do. And so that's kind of how we structure it. And then on the last day, we do a scramble tournament that kind of mixes all the kids together, and we try to put together, scramble teams for the kids to play at Indian Trails on October 2, weather permitting. We have not actually played on the day that we've tried to play that tournament in the 5 years that we've done this. So there's a good chance we're going to get a delay, and maybe we'll have to do it the next week or something like that. But I guess you never know. This might be the first year we actually play on the day we set out to play it. A couple of things just to help us manage our time at Indian Trails. The meeting point where we start practice, because it's a public course, there's a lot of people there. If you've ever been there, it's very busy. Also, First Tee is a club that teaches kids about golf. My son plays in that. He's 8. But they're there at the same time we are a lot of times. So where we're going to meet is when you drive in the parking lot of Indian Trails right towards the clubhouse at the top of that hill. There's kind of like a maintenance garage up there. That's where we meet, up on that hill. If there's going to be a change to that, your coach will let you know that. But that's where we're going to start, on the hill by the clubhouse. That keeps us away from the traffic of what's going on down on the practice ranges. Okay. Weather is always a concern. It's Michigan. As we know, anything can happen on the moment's notice. And so we always have to, I encourage you to be aware of your email. Your coach will be trying to keep golf on as much as possible. We only have so many days that we're allowed to do this. And so we don't want to cancel it if at all possible. So if we start at 6 o'clock, which is the time that we start, 6 to 7:30, we're going to try our very best to play. And if we're going to cancel it, we're going to try to do it before 5:30, a half hour before, but we're going to do everything in our power for it to be on. So if you're not getting communication from your coach, you should assume it's on. but check that before you leave from home. Because we're going to do everything we can to play in those minimal times that we have. Okay, so weather is a concern, but we'll do our best to communicate that. Your coach will do that. As far as transportation, you'll be required to bring your child there. But here's the thing: I talked with Graham, who kind of runs the course, and they're very limited in their parking. So it's really helpful if you drop your son or daughter off. And no offense, but you got to leave. There's not enough room for all of the cars to drop and stay, especially because they're still trying to serve the public. This is a public Grand Rapids course, and they have to serve the public for people that are playing out there. So if you can drop off, and if you need to stay in the area, go sit in the Meyer parking lot, go to a coffee shop, go sit in the Grand Rapids Christian parking lot. There's probably an event at the stadium or something you can go look at for a while. But if you're not volunteering that day, it's really important that you drop and maybe leave that parking lot if at all possible, so that we can keep that open for the Indian Trails people, so that the public can get there, because parking is a really big issue for that course. Okay, before we move on to anything else, does anybody have a question? If you do, there's a little button at the bottom of your screen that says chat. If you have something that you want to ask in there as I'm going, just go ahead, type it in there, and I'll look at that chat. And I'll get back to it after each of these slides. I'll stop and take a look at the chat to make sure that we're not missing anybody's questions. So at the bottom of your screen, there's a little chat thing. I'm typing my name in there right now, so you can see it pop up and see that there is a message in there. So if you have something you want to talk about or ask a question about, please post it in there. Otherwise, I'll just keep going for now. All right, so we'll go back to the presentation so we can keep moving forward. Next up is the Monday, Wednesday group. So if you have a child in 6th to 8th grade, these are the two groups. I have a little typo here. We've got advanced on both of these, which is wrong. I apologize for that. I realize that now as I'm playing this, but this group on the left would be the boys advanced, and Jeff Renz and Greg Clark are going to kind of be the dedicated coaches to that. And Jared Koischer will be the dedicated coach to the intermediate group. Jared will actually email for both groups, but those coaches, Jeff and Greg, will be your main contacts if your child is in the advanced group for 6th through 8th grade, and Jared will be your main contact. So you'll be able to communicate with that, but you'll get this schedule from them so that as you can see on any given day, we pick 9:15. Half the group will be at the practice range putting and chipping, so we're not overwhelming the practice range and the public that's there. And then half of the group, the other side, will be playing on the back 9. And they'll be playing some golf holes out there, learning the game, learning etiquette, learning how to do this thing with a lot of these unspoken rules. And so that's kind of part of it too, is we're trying to teach skills, but also teach how to play. The Tuesday, Thursday group looks like this. Morgan Kaltz is the coach for the girls. Casey Jordsma is also a coach there. Craig Coing is going to coach the 5th grade boys. So their schedules, and again, the coaches will send this to you. So you'll have it. You don't have to hurry up and quick write it down or anything like that. Okay, but I just wanted you to see kind of how the season looks. Those are our days, those are our events. And that's the coach that would be in charge of that group. So you can kind of start to place yourself with who you'll be looking for emails from. Lead coaches, these are the people that I was just mentioning. Each of you will have a person that you can ask questions to, right? This is the person that you'll report to when it's time for you to volunteer and help us out at these things. This is the person that you can ask questions to about the schedule or weather, or, hey, my son's supposed to play today. He's going to be 10 minutes late. Can he go in a second group or something like that? Those sorts of communications, those should go to that dedicated coach who's sending you the weekly emails. That's the person that you should be directing those things to. I love you, but I really can't answer all of those detailed questions for all of the programs that we have in our program, with our 11 volleyball teams, our 7 soccer teams, this golf program that has 4 different sets of coaches. I just can't follow all that. I depend on my coaches to lead those areas. So if you can help me with that by just communicating with that coach, they'll come to me with those issues. And that really works well for us as we manage it. Remember that these coaches are volunteers. Treat them with kindness, with grace, and with questions. One thing that we talk about in all our sports is the best way to build relationships, which is what we want coaches and parents to be in relationship with each other, not fighting each other. for administration and parents to work together, coaches and administration to work together. The best way to do that is for us to ask questions. So, try your best to not make statements about you did this or this happened here, but say, hey, I heard something about this. Is there a way that you could explain this to me? Or what happened in your perspective? So when you ask those questions, you allow people the opportunity to answer with balance and with relationship. So that's some of my encouragement to you is when you ask a coach something, please make sure you ask questions and not make statements. Remember, they're volunteers. If you really want to help, we'd love to have you help. So just let us know. Okay. And all of these people that are coaching, they are experienced players or experienced coaches or people that have been doing this for us for a handful of years. We're really blessed to have the wealth of the depth of knowledge of the game of golf through these people. Our two female coaches are both college golfers. Most of the people that are coaching on the boys' side that are men are players themselves. They played high school or college golf. And then we're actually going to have a lot of our high school players from my team, the boys varsity golf team, and some of the girls from the JV girls golf team, and some of the boys from the JV boys high school team. They're going to be helping us too. So we're really blessed to have so much help from people that know the game and want to help your child. So, I really hope that you can, encourage and thank and be positive about the program as it continues to grow and work with them. Student behavior. This is something we gotta say. I mean, you can see what I wrote up there. I think that kids are weaponized with these clubs, right? Like they got metal clubs that they're whipping around, and that can really injure somebody. And so we really have to be cautious about safety. So what I'll ask of you is that you talk with your child about being safe and also being aware of their surroundings. You can't assume that every kid is being wise with how they're handling the club. So please talk to your child. Be careful, be looking, all right, about what you're doing and what other people are doing. We have volunteers, but as you all know, if we're not one-to-one volunteer, we can't fully control that, right? So we're doing the best we can to keep people safe. Our coaches, every single time kids come to their station, they talk safety, safety, safety. But again, your children, they're middle schoolers, right? They listen some of the time, right? But not all of the time. And so please help us with that fight to make sure that we're constantly talking to our kids about safety. If your sons and daughters say, I'm so sick of everybody talking about how to be safe, we're probably doing a good job. So, please keep talking to them about that. I want you to know, like, if our coaches will ask students to sit out if they're not listening to that sort of thing, and that's for student safety, right? So don't be surprised if, coach made me sit out and you say, why? And they say, well, I wasn't doing anything. I think you already know why they had to sit out. Okay. It's a safety issue. Okay. We need kids to be safe. If students ignore this, like one of the big things that kids will do is they'll walk in front of kids swinging golf clubs on the driving range. They won't be paying attention. They'll just be trying to get a tee or something like that. So obviously, if they're going to keep ignoring this, it's possible that we're going to ask them not to come back. We have not had an injury yet in 5 years, knock on wood. And I really don't want this year to be the first time. So please just remind your kids to be safe and to be cautious. Send them in a football helmet if you want to. We will not send them away. Okay. And just so you know, this is an assumed injury risk. Like we're doing what's reasonable and what's normal to try to protect kids with constant, here's where you need to be in these places to be safe. And here's how we be safe. Like we're doing what is reasonable and normal and expected for that. And so please just help partner with us during that time. We've had a great track record so far and we hope it can continue. And then I think this is the last main thing, but volunteers. We have some volunteers that are excited to help your kids, but to be completely honest, with that many kids, we need a little extra help. Your coach is going to send out a sign-up genius, and we would love for every family to consider one time. If every family tried to sign up for one time, we would have way more volunteers than we need. Way more, just one time where you're already bringing your child there anyway. If you can come, you don't have to know the game. You don't have to coach. What you have to do is be at a station and help our lead coach at that station keep kids safe, right? And say, hey, Jimmy, hold on, he's talking right now, or she's trying to instruct you, hold on. Helping us kind of classroom manage and keep kids safe. If you can do that even one time, it will be huge. One of the prayers I have for this program every time is the first time a coach sends out the sign up genius, it gets filled. I would just love to see that. So if you can consider one or more times that you can help, man, it would be awesome. So your coach will send you, Craig and Lynette will send something for fifth graders. Casey, the coach, will send something to all of the girls' parents about that. And Jeff Renz will be sending something to all the 6th through 8th grade boys' parents about that, with a couple of slots on each night if we can fill those. So we need volunteers, we need help, and man, we've had a great time with this program, and we hope that you can continue to do that for us. So with that, I want to open it up for questions, and for me to stop and say, what do you need to know or want to know that I didn't cover yet? So you can unmute and ask, or you can type it in the chat. But go ahead and let me know, and I want to be available as a resource.
So I have a question about the group that the child gets assigned to. If the child got signed up for intermediate, but actually fits more in the advanced, do you move kids based upon what you're seeing?
If the coaches feel that's necessary, yeah, they will if they feel it's necessary. They're obviously going to do their best to watch the 6th through 8th graders for 2 days straight, which is the Wednesday and Thursday, and see them in their short game, their putting game, their swinging on the driving range. They're going to be analyzing that and doing the best they can to get kids that scenario. If every year, somebody doesn't do well or something like that, and then they start to see something different, they can make adjustments. They certainly have I certainly give them the choice, the opportunity, whatever you want to call it, to make those choices as a coaching staff for what's best for the groups. Yep. Well, that's up to the coaches. It's not up to the parents or anything like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? That's a great question. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, Ben Stayhauer, you're welcome to volunteer more than once. We're glad to have you. We want to teach the kids how to hit the power fade. Okay, we want to teach them that, and I know you specialize in that. So
they don't want to learn from me. They don't want to learn from me. So I'll make sure they're safe.
Okay, that's good. We'll take that too. We'll take that too. Okay. Anybody else have questions for us? Everybody's paid a fee. Oh, I forgot to say this. We're going to offer, Betsy Koistra, I believe, is going to offer an opportunity. She's going to send out a link to everybody in golf where you can buy like golf type apparel, like Grand Rapids Christian golf apparel. She did that for our boys golf program, so all the parent groups, and it was a big success. And so we thought, hey, why don't we offer that to all of you? You're interested in golf now, your child's interested in golf, you can get them a t-shirt, you can get yourself something. There'll be nice, really nice things in there, but there'll also be, simple things like t-shirts and stuff like that. So if you want to get some of that, there'll be a link sent out to you by her, that if you want to do some of that, she'll then deliver it to the practices or whatever and pass it out to people if they want to have it. So if you want to get some apparel, that doesn't necessarily benefit our program, but it is cool to have, like, as far as financially, but it does really help us to have support for the program and to see other people with GRC golf. I think that helps build a program and build an excitement of being a part of something bigger than yourself. So if you're interested in doing that, that will come out as well. Any other questions that anybody might have? Okay, well, what I want to tell you is your coach, like Jared, will email the 6th through 8th grade boys. Craig will email the 5th grade boys, and Casey or Morgan will email the girls, and just let them know a reminder of the schedule for next week, so that you have that, and they'll introduce themselves a little bit and do that in the next couple of days. And they'll also in that email probably put that sign up genius out. So please take a look at that when you get the email and see if there's a time that you can help us out. Okay, so that's what you can expect from coaches. I'll see a handful of you on Tuesday when I'm out at Indian Trails. And so otherwise, maybe I'll see you Wednesday or Thursday next week. I look forward to meeting you. Thanks for having your kids be part of the program. And certainly you've got emails from me. So if you have a question for me, that's bigger picture or something like that, please let me know. But I appreciate each of you and look forward to having a great year. Thanks a lot for coming to the meeting tonight.
Thank you.